So, welcome everyone. This is Bridging the Skills Gap, interactive learning content for 3D modeling students and professionals presented to you by SelfCAD. So, today we have our CEO and founder, Aaron, our program manager, Jennifer, and me, SelfCAD's marketing manager. My name is Irish Ann, and we also have a special guest, one of our most active users who will be doing the training spotlight with us, Ali from Streamline Dental and Pop On Veneers, the 3D printing manager for that company based in New York. Okay, so without further ado, let me start by discussing what we'll be going over today. So, creating remote learning materials for 3D modeling students and professionals has unique challenges, and this is what we've been trying to address. So, now I'm going to hand it over to Jennifer to give you a glimpse into these challenges and how we can solve this.
Yes, thank you, Irish. I really appreciate it. So, hello, everybody. Welcome to the event. During this event, you're going to see several demos of our interactive tutorials. This will help you gain a better understanding of our platform. And you're going to see how different we actually are from other CAD learning software programs. So learners are going to be able to go inside the interactive tutorial that's going to be created by their teacher. And this is going to provide a seamless working model for them to create something in their own environment, enhancing their learning and retention. Instead of switching between a YouTube video and a separate application, instead of switching a YouTube video and a separate application on our platform, this allows students to follow a step-by-step instruction within the software itself. And this is actually pretty cool. So because we have these students in the software with a step-by-step tutorial, the way that it's created, they cannot make a mistake. And it won't allow them to select a tool or continue to the next step if they have something incorrectly selected or they have used the wrong numerical value of something. So YouTube tutorials are great and we use them all the time, but it's not curriculum. And it's not a great idea to build your course around how many tutorial videos are offered on their YouTube channel. So you may have already run into several issues like me. For example, many videos and channels are often blocked for students. And it can be challenging for teachers to set up a classroom where students can watch a video while also using the software. Teachers might want to project the video, or maybe they assign them as a homework assignment. And, actually SelfCAD will allow this because it's cloud-based and it works on Chromebooks and even iPads. However, this would technically work. It's not ideal. And it's really hard to know for sure if students are learning. Are they actually watching the video? So this approach often isn't effective for learners, especially young learners. And we want to make sure that we're teaching this software in the best way possible. We need to make sure that we are catering to our users. With this short attention span, they need to be actively interacting with the software while they're learning it, because that's how we learn best. It's really the way that we have designed our program is so that we can integrate direct instruction within the software. We also have SelfCAD tutorials. SelfCAD tutorial videos are generally used to support learning when students get stuck. So we also have that support, but it's not the main way that they will learn. Our system is able to replace some of those other learning systems that you may be using, such as YouTube. These interactive tutorials generally support learning when students get stuck, like I said. However, combining the software with direct instruction is much more effective and makes learning easier for each student, regardless of their access to YouTube. Our system replaces the need for students to create extra accounts or log into a separate platform. We simplified the process so that they can focus on learning. This approach also eases the burden on teachers, allowing them to support students more effectively without the hassle of managing multiple resources. All right, now I'm going to hand things over to Aaron Brewer, who's going to talk more about our interactive tutorials on the business side. And thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. Yes, so as Jennifer says, the interactive tutorials explained well how they benefit education, I would like to focus a little bit more about industry, how it's used for industry. So SelfCAD is a really powerful direct modeling software. It's considered a general purpose software, not really focusing on any specific industry that much. But the interactive tutorials makes it so that it could be customized easily for specific industries. It has the same benefits, the general benefits for schools, where it's really fast to teach and you can customize it for specific things. But the main benefit is that you can train your team, have them focus on something specific, while we create tutorials on problem solving. So I'll explain with an example and how we work with Ali from the dental industry. So he's one of the people that use frequently our software and reached out to us with specific problems for dental industry. Now, there are specific software dedicated to this industry, but from our point of view, the challenges that he was facing was general challenges. For example, how to fill a 3D gap, how to make a high poly model into a low poly model, and how to close and to create bases for teeth and so on and so forth. And the same problem could be used for furniture industry, could be used for dental, could be used for any other 3D scans and so on. So what we did actually with him is we created some specific tutorials that focused on his specific use cases. But from our point of view, these are basically general purpose use cases. So when you're going to teach in schools, learn the software, you basically show them how to solve a problem, a specific problem, and that problem then later could be used in many different industries. So with that, I'll hand it over to Ali and to Irish to explain a little bit more how they came about and how we explained it, the tutorials, and how this helped them actually customize SelfCAD and train their team and successfully use it.
Thanks, Aaron. And hello, everyone. We have Ali here, and before he shares exactly how SelfCAD helps them with their day-to-day workflow, I actually have a few questions for you, Ali. Can you tell us how you found SelfCAD and what your struggles were before learning to use the app?
Okay, thank you, Irish. Hello, guys. So one of the methods that I was able to approach self-guide or discover self-guide was I was given a task to figure out a way to fix our 3D models digitally instead of physically, because before we were fixing them physically, which took up too much time, and you never get the same work completed twice. It's always going to be different. It's never going to be the same. So we decided digitally would make more sense, but anything that you do digitally will always be repeated through multiple prints, no issues. So after trying out a few softwares, I've tried ExoCAD, which is the main tool for design dental models, but it's really difficult without project file. We've tried a few other designing softwares, but the one that really appealed to me and my company the most is SelfCAD itself because of the flexibility, the capabilities of it just initially being for 3D objects and not specifically for dental, gave it the capability of adjusting our models, fixing what we have to fix digitally instead of physically. So a few things that we have used SelfCAD for, and we consistently use it, is when our original models was a bit rough around the edges, we'll sort of say, where we adding the teeth and we don't implement the separations, the curves, and everything within the model. That allowed us to always fix it manually. And with SelfCAD, you can do all the manual process digitally, which was a big benefit for our process.
All right, that's great. Can you show us how you use SelfCAD in your day-to-day workflow?
Sure thing.
Okay, yeah.
One of the day-to-day tasks is, as you can see, we have an example model here, dental model, which is in SelfCAD's point of view, it's just a 3D object. It's nothing more, nothing less. So as a 3D object, these bubbles that we see within the tooth design are one of our original designs within ExoCAD, where we didn't really care too much about the way the design is because we can always fix it manually. But since we decided to start going into three digitally fixing it, the sculpting feature within SelfCAD is a big benefit because whenever we're printing these, we want it to be as smooth as possible, which was why we were always either adding a wax material to smooth out the teeth or carving it with a drill, a burr, we'll call. All this bubbly with SelfCAD, as you can see, it has different options For our use case scenario, we're mainly going to use the standard brush and smooth and flatten. These are the three objects. Initially, what we would do is adjust the size of the brush, the intensity of the brush, and then we would add material as to not make the model smaller than it needs to be. We'll make it a bit larger, more thicker, and we'll go all around each tooth that we're gonna fix. Just add some material, which is a benefit. The process of adding material instead of removing material. And then we go into the smoothing process, which would pretty much blend the two together and not make it smaller than the original size. So some blending there, blending there. Another aspect that we have used the SelfCAD for is, as you guys can see in here, right here, this margin or the separation between the tooth and the gum of this model is not that defined. So with C's brush, which is the crease, we can minimize the size of the brush, increase the intensity, and when as we zoom in, we can immediately, sorry, you gotta put it to negative, but you can define the separation for every single tooth, which is also a bonus. Because doing it manually, you can always screw up and you have to reprint the model. But in this case, if I accidentally go up here, I can easily undo it and it goes away. So those are a few examples.
Okay, thank you. Great. Thank you so much for sharing how you use SelfCAD. For everyone who has comments, please feel free to leave them in the chat and we can address them. And in the meantime, while we're waiting for comments, maybe Jennifer, Aaron, you can chime in with some of your thoughts about how SelfCAD can be used in industry and in schools.
Yeah, I would like to say, first of all, thank you, Ali. And I would like to say this is actually one of the other benefits that actually sculpting is not supported by interactive tutorials. It's the only feature that we do not support interactive tutorials, but everything else is. But in general, the idea of a software that supports interactive tutorial together with general modeling is a great benefit because you can mix between them. You can do your model 3D modeling and do interactive tutorials and vice versa. It even works with masking, so you can select parts and other parts, and the same selection will be carried over. So it's a full integration. But in general, this is an example that Ali shows using sculpting. There are other technical problems we work together and other industries as well, which are solving it more technically. So um, the main idea is that teaching a general purpose software with direct modeling nowadays is quite helpful in many industries. In his case, it's a 3D scan, and we are getting actually more and more of this requests for many different industries that start working with 3D scans. And direct modeling benefit is, as Ali said, that we don't really care what the object is. It's basically just a 3D object, and regardless if you created them in SelfCAD or anyplace else, or it's scanned, we can still work in it the same way. But the benefit in Tutorial is that we can customize it, and so you can train a team of professionals working with them just playing the tutorials, which is the same idea as schools, as Jennifer said, that it helps you focus on the problem rather than searching for tools or making mistakes. And this basically helps how we customize it and train them. And you can do it your own. Anyone can record an interactive tutorial. Anyone can publish it on our website. We have different sharing options, publish it on official page, on your private page. But basically, it's the easiest way and one of a kind, where you can really create your complete curriculum for schools or your complete training material for your specific industry. And we have basically all it takes to create anything and edit anything.
Okay, so looks like we don't have any comments, questions in the comments. So I'll just go straight in and discuss pricing for schools. So SelfCAD is a 3D modeling software that grows with you and your class. So we actually have a special offer for schools. We're calling it the early adopter package because we're offering not just the software, but also a customized curriculum, courtesy of Jennifer, who writes her curriculum with the software. So we do have a free plan that includes the basic modeling tools, and interactive tutorials is included across all plans, free or paid. And we have the standard pricing, which is 139.99 per user per year. It includes all the free features, advanced modeling tools, rendering, also STL, the STL slicer for 3D printing. We have that there. Um, but with the early adopter package, you're not just getting the software, you're also getting a STEM curriculum, which we're calling SelfCAD Academy. It's valued at 1800, and we have a web-based teacher training, again, care of Jennifer, valued at 800 per teacher. We have off-the-shelf learning materials. So this includes interactive tutorials, lessons, documents that you can use, just plug and play with your class. And of course, again, it comes with your SelfCAD Pro access. So this starts at only 69.99 per user per year. And if you get more than 100 licenses up, it's only $25 per user per year. And that includes both teachers and students. So yeah, if you're interested, please connect with Jennifer Christian. She's our program manager. She would be happy to address your questions. The best way would be to connect with her on LinkedIn. Just scan this QR code and it should take you right straight to her profile, or give her a call or send her an email. Her contact details are here. Please feel free to screenshot this. And if you're also interested in connecting with Ali, this is his contact details. Again, Ali, thank you so much for sharing your workflow and like a clear example of how your industry is using SelfCAD to help you with your day-to-day operations. That's basically it. Perhaps our presenters would like to share some closing remarks. Jennifer, Aaron, Ali.
One thing I can say is thanks to SelfCAD, it has made majority of our tasks or work at our company much easier and smoother. And one of the features I forgot to mention is that it has multiple forms of exports for the file itself, so it's not tied down to only STL. It can be object, it can be a few other extensions, which is also beneficial to depending on the task that you are assigned to. It's not limited. That's the best part. It's up to your imagination. Whatever you can think of, you can do it with SelfCAD.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for attending this live event. We hope to bring you more topics related to 3D design, 3D printing, vertical alignment, curriculum, you name it. We're here to help. We're here to support you. Please contact me if you have any questions, or if you just want to chat. Let's talk about vertical alignment for schools. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone. And if you're watching the replay, please feel free to leave any questions that might pop up, and our team would be happy to answer them.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.